The availability of cheap energy has shaped our consumption behavior. Until now, we have been building, creating everything that we thought we needed, without thinking about resources. Now we have realized that there are limits to those resources because we have one planet. As an investor, it's important to imagine how life will look like, the real economy will look like, consumer behaviors will be in 10, 20 years, and then invest according to that vision.
The megatrends that will have an impact on the energy transition are climate change and sustainability, and technological advances along with engineering advances. So if we want to understand how these issues might shape human life, we apply foresight tools and methods. So if people are living, for instance, in more and more in urban areas, what will that mean then for air pollution? Because air pollution is typically higher in urban areas. If the energy transition then is part of reducing that, could that lead to better well-being, different ways of transportation, different ways of commuting, different mobility patterns? All these things might be an effect of the energy transition when we start to explore through scenarios. The future is not just, happening to us. We have something where we can actually build for the future that we want if we invest in it today.
In order to achieve the net zero 2050, we will need to invest per year $4 trillion, both public and private side. Financial institutions, like catalysts in chemistry, can facilitate economic outcomes without being consumed in the process. But they can't do everything on their own. They need the right reactants to drive the transformation.
So investment is essential to this transformation. Technological change and behavioral change come hand in hand. For most technologies, we need consumers or end users to be willing to shift the way they're doing things, adopt something new, and so on. However, the investment comes first because you have to develop that low carbon solution that performs well, is not too expensive, and fulfills, people's expectations. We can't just immediately start putting a high price on carbon when there are no low carbon substitutes, and then people would just have to pay a higher price and just have a reduction in their standard of living, and they'd have no way to sort of respond by adopting a different behavior, by adopting a different technology.
Given the urgency of the problem, what we need to avoid is the vicious circles and analysis paralysis, searching for the perfect data for making the perfect decision. Perfection doesn't exist. We need to build a sense of agency that will allow us to change.